Engagers, this is Professor Game, where we interview successful practitioners of games, gamification, and game thinking who bring us the best of their experiences to get ideas, insights, and inspiration to help us in the process of using games and gamification in our daily lives, for example, to learn what we are teaching. And I am Rob Alvarez. I work at IronHack, teach at IE Business School University, and so much more, and host this podcast. If you have an extra second, please go ahead and subscribe for free to our email list at professorgame.com/subscribe. Hey Engagers, welcome to this special anniversary episode of the Professor Game podcast. And today we will have what, tends to be usually a brief episode, but for many reasons, right? This is not an episode to have guests. This is an episode for many things. First among them, of course, definitely to celebrate that we've been together for 5 years at this point. Oh my goodness, 5th anniversary of the Professor Game podcast. We've been together for 5 years by now. If you're hearing this, the podcast started on a 6th of November of 2017, so quite a while ago. I try to keep, the anniversary episode around the week where it all started. In this case, it's literally the first Monday right after the actual anniversary, so we're truly excited. We've already been around for 5 years together if you're hearing this. Maybe more, maybe you're hearing this a year after, 2 years after, 10 years after, I don't know. Very, very excited. There's, for me personally, Rob speaking here, of course, there's been a lot of growth opportunities thanks to you, thanks to the audience, thanks to getting together every week with amazing guests as we do. Anything from amazing connections to these people. I've gotten to meet many of them in person as well. We've established, personal and professional relationships in many cases. It's been super exciting, super amazing. I've had the opportunity to travel around plenty of parts around the globe to discuss gamification with, organizations, individuals, conferences, workshops, classes, etc., including, workshops on at least 3 continents and classes along 3 continents in 4 universities at the moment, that are sort of continuously ongoing. Super, super excited about all these things, about spreading the word on what gamification and games-based solution can do for this world. And especially, as you know, I have a big heart, a big passion for education. It's where I come from, where it all started in gamification for me. So definitely education still has a special place in my heart for sure. And in whatever it is that I do, usually, as you know, I work as a product manager in an educational institution, which is IronHack at this time. I used to work for a university where I now teach. So I also teach. I also have this podcast. I teach gamification. I teach other things as well. So you can imagine that my excitement for education and what can be achieved through games and gamification and education is huge. However, I would also like to put a big spotlight on this episode on something that is the thing for me this time. I've been thinking about doing this, honestly. Last year, I thought about doing it as well. I didn't have the time to sit down and actually perform this. I wanted to make sure I did something, well done and well thought through. And I did I planned it this year to make sure I had the time. And I created a short, small, I like to call it mini choose your own adventure survey, right? So, full disclosure, it ends up being a little bit more of a survey as well, but it is sort of adapted depending on the answers you go giving. It is super short. Don't think that this is going to be something that takes an hour and no, this is something you'll literally finish probably in less than 5 minutes. But it is geared especially to you as an engager, as a person who is interested in this world of games and gamification and how they can create amazing solutions for different types of problems and different types of places. And wherever you are at, that is actually one of the questions I'd like to know, where you're at in your journey. If you're starting, if you're a full practitioner and you're, one of the trailblazers in a way, anything in between, that is exactly where I want to understand where you're at, perhaps even where we can and how we can provide you a little bit more value, as you know, with having over almost 300 interviews. By the end of this year, we'll probably have, by the end of this next year, the next anniversary, we'll have over 300 episodes, hopefully, if everything goes well. So, with all of these interviews, all these people that I've met, all these experiences I've been at, all these conferences, plenty of courses I've been through as well, I'd like to see how I can provide some of that value straight to you. All right. So that is the focus of that survey. The idea is that by the end, if you decide to provide your email, of course, and this is entirely optional, there's some mandatory questions, some optional. Definitely providing your email is optional. But if you do provide your email, right, I will send that value straight to your inbox. I will tell you, one of the things, I don't want to give anything away at this point yet. There are several options of different things that could be the case of what you're interested in. And honestly, if you put in your email and then you reply and say, look, I want to know these other things and these other options that I saw and were interesting as well, I'd be happy to send that to you also.
Yeah, for sure, I'd be able to send that. But of course, we want to make it exciting. Initially, I'll be definitely first focused on the people who get to answer the questions there. What is their first choice? Because yes, I let you choose just one at this time to get to see, especially what are your preferences. Because yes, I have not very hidden agenda in this case. I have my own interests as well. I want to see where you're at, how we can help you best. I want to understand that better, to see, what the future gives us as well. We've been a podcast, and for all these years, we'll continue to be a podcast. We'll continue to deliver all this free value. We want to create even more free value in the future, and there might be other things that we do as well. So I want to understand you guys a little bit better, guys and gals, of course, and anything in between, right? So that is sort of my hidden and not so hidden agenda in that sense. I want to get more information of where you're at to see how I and we at Professor Game can help you go even further, all right? So that's it. The idea is that you go there. The link is very simple. It's professorgame.com/ that slash 5, the number 5, anniversary, all one word, 5 anniversary. And honestly, almost any variation, I try to also direct it to this mini choose your own adventure, right? So again, I'll repeat that, professorgame.com/5 anniversary as a single word. So professorgame.com/5 anniversary. You go there. You invest, I promise it'll be less than 5 minutes. Even if you decide to give us some of the written answers and you decide to write a little bit more, I'm sure you'll finish it in less than 5 minutes, probably like in 2, right? But that's up to you entirely. If you want to finish it in 1 minute, you probably will be able to finish in 1 minute as well. So again, go to professorgame.com/5 anniversary. Find this mini choose your own adventure that we created especially for you to deliver special and more value to you, to your lives, hopefully. If you put in your email, you can decide not to as well. But if you put in your email, we will be sending something straight your way as well. And again, Engagers, I'm super excited. I'm super happy to be here to be celebrating these 5 years that we've been together. However, as always and as usual, at least for now and for today, but before you can hit pause as well and go to the survey, professorgame.com/5 anniversary, the mini choose your own adventure. But as well, and as always, by now and for today, it is time to say that it's game over.